If you're watching this video, I'm guessing you have a steering wheel that is stuck you're trying to get off. I'm going to show you a little trick I learned when I did my 72. I just have to show it off a minute. Here's my 72. And there's a 125 hiding over there. And this is an original Cub Cadet. One popular suggestion for getting these wheels off is to loosen the nut up if yours still has one on it. Loosen the nut up a turn, pulling up on the steering wheel, and then giving the nut a good hit, and then just pops right loose. Well, that might work on, a nice garage kept model where it hasn't gotten rusty and everything else, but I can't stress enough to not do it that way. This is made out of, that shaft is made out of soft steel. I'll show you how I know that in a minute. Now, I'd like to take credit for this idea because another fellow actually told me about it. This hole in the center just happens to be the right size to tap it 7/16 14 threads. 3/8 thread, the hole's too big. This bolt falls in it. And a 1/2-inch bolt or tap is too big. We'd have to drill it out bigger. It just happens to be the right size already for a 7/16 14. Now, if you've never tapped before, I suggest you find somebody that has done it and is familiar with it. It's important to keep that tap in line straight with the steering column. You want to check that in two directions. Make sure as you get it started, looks like it's pretty straight. The reason I know this is soft is because it taps so easily. If this was hardened steel, this tap would not cut new threads in it. Again, if you've never tapped something before, maybe you have a friend or know somebody that's a machinist, or just a mechanic, somebody that's comfortable threading. But once you get that started in there, see, that's very soft material, so it's not hard to ruin these threads. There, maybe that's tapped away in there. The trouble with the method, the suggestion of backing that acorn nut up a turn and giving it a hit is, like I say, unless it's a garage kept model, or you just get real lucky, you're holding up on that and you smack that, it might pop loose. Chances are you got an old Cub that's 40, 50 years old, maybe not too old at all, but they're stubborn. And once you smack that nut, well, if it still doesn't pop off, chances are you're going to maybe try it again and hit it a little harder, trying to get the pop off. You hit that a few times on that soft metal and you ruin these threads, like this one is. I got this tractor, the nut was missing. These threads are just destroyed. So before you do that to your tractor, once those are destroyed, there's no going back. I do have a fix for that I'll get to in another video. So you run your tap in there, blow those, blow it out, and you'll be able to see here. There's some nice new, how good the camera's going to focus. Some nice new threads in there. Now, to do is you get your local hardware store. It's actually 7/16 14. It's kind of an odd size to have laying around. But you get a socket head cap screw because the puller will stay centered in the head. So you screw this all the way into the new threads you just made. Alright. And then you get a 3-jaw puller, not a 2-jaw. Get a 3-jaw puller. And this is always a nice little fight to get this on here. Now this puller is actually probably maybe a little big for doing this. Maybe not. Well, it is, because it has a tendency to the jaws to want to, as you put pressure on it, the jaws want to pop out. So I have a little cheat to help keep them in. I have this big hose clamp, and I don't know why. Well, I know exactly why, because you run into dumb jobs, you need them sometimes. I tend to for some reason I don't know how I come across all those over the years, but I have, and I keep them. So excuse me while I struggle with my camera. So my cheat with the hose clamp is I put it over the puller to help hold those in while high. That helps hold them in. Now you might notice that's that steering wheel that's all wet. That's because for the past week or so